Mark Consuelos reveals results of his first colonoscopy after mysterious absence from the show. That's late. Mark Consuelos has never shied away from openness, humor, or sharing parts of his personal life with the audience that tunes in to watch him every morning. But even longtime viewers were caught by surprise when the co-host suddenly disappeared from the show, leaving a wave of speculation behind. With no announcement, no prior warning, and no clue provided by the production team, fans were left wondering, where was Mark? Was everything okay? When would he be back? Days later, Consuelos finally returned to the screen healthy, smiling, slightly embarrassed, and ready to explain the reason behind his vanishing act. As it turned out, he had undergone his first ever colonoscopy, a milestone many put off for far too long, and one he, admittedly, was late to schedule. His absence wasn't a scripted break, a vacation, or a secret filming project. It was something far more personal, far more relatable, and ultimately far more important, taking care of his health. His candid conversation about the procedure ignited an unexpected but welcome wave of awareness around preventive care, screening, and the anxiety many feel around the subject. With the humor that has become his signature and a surprising depth of vulnerability, Consuelos shared not only why he delayed the appointment, but also the results that left him both relieved and reflective. What followed was a conversation as entertaining as it was informative, one that reminded viewers that health, aging, and preventive screenings come for everyone, even the seemingly ageless faces they see on television. A sudden absence sparks concern. The buzz began the moment viewers noticed Mark missing from his seat. While the show continued with its usual energy, the gap beside his co-host was unmistakable, prompting fans to flood social media with questions. Had he fallen ill? Was he traveling? Was there a family emergency? Though the show briefly mentioned he was out, no explanation was offered at first. In a media landscape where celebrity absences often lead to speculation, the silence only amplified curiosity. Behind the scenes, however, Consuelos was simply following through on a long-postponed health appointment, one recommended for years, but repeatedly pushed aside, like many do for screenings that feel uncomfortable, intimidating, or inconvenient. And in his own words, he was late. Very late. His return, a mix of humor, honesty, and relief. When Consuelos finally returned to the show, he walked in with the relaxed, easygoing swagger viewers know well, but the moment he sat down, he addressed the elephant in the room. Okay, everyone wants to know where I've been, he began with a laugh. And honestly, I had my first colonoscopy. Yes, my first. And before you ask, yes, I know I was late. That's late. The audience erupted with laughter, partially from his comedic delivery and partially from relatable tension. Colonoscopies are rarely discussed openly, let alone with such comfortable ease on morning television. But Consuelos was ready to lead the conversation with transparency. It's one of those things you know you have to do, but you find every excuse to postpone, he admitted. Work, travel, schedules, you name it. But eventually, your doctor stops asking politely and starts giving you that look. And when someone tells you it's time, you just do it. His candidness set the tone. The conversation would be honest, but light-hearted, educational, but laced with humor. Classic Mark. The preparation. The worst part, honestly. Consuelos didn't mince words when describing the preparation leading up to the procedure. The prep is the worst part. Truly, he said. I don't know who designed that part of the process, but I would like to have a discussion with them. He joked about the clear liquid diet, the infamous cleansing solution, and the hours spent hoping the ordeal would end sooner rather than later. The audience and viewers at home could relate, not because they personally experienced a colonoscopy, but because stories about the prep are almost legendary. It felt like the longest night of my life, he said with a grin. But I made it through. Barely. And then you get to the actual procedure, which you don't feel anything. After the prep, the procedure feels like a nap. His humorous recounting lifted the stigma around the experience. Instead of sounding scary, it sounded human. The procedure. I went to sleep and woke up healthier. Consuelos described the actual colonoscopy as surprisingly simple. You get there, you change into the fashionable gown, very stylish, by the way, and before you know it, you're out. The next thing you remember is waking up in a room with a nurse telling you it's over. And you're relieved. Really relieved. He noted how quickly everything happened, emphasizing how strange it felt to worry so long about something so routine. It's like you spend weeks or months thinking about it, and then it's over in what feels like minutes, he said. You walk out, you go home, and by lunchtime, you're watching TV feeling totally fine. The experience gave him a newfound appreciation for preventive healthcare, something he confessed he hadn't prioritized enough before. The results: a clean bill of health. When discussing the results of his screening, Consuelos looked visibly relieved. The doctor came in afterward and said everything was clear. Completely clear, he shared, visibly grateful. That's the best thing you can hear after something like that. The relief he felt extended beyond his personal health. It was clear from the way he spoke that delaying the procedure had been lingering in the back of his mind for a long time. Getting the all-clear lifted a weight he hadn't fully acknowledged until it was gone. And that's why I'm talking about it, he added. I put it off for too long. Others put it off too. But the peace of mind afterward? Worth everything. A message to the audience: don't wait. In one of the most genuine moments of his return, Consuelos addressed viewers and urged them not to delay preventive screenings. Look, if you're at that age or past it, just do it, he said. It's easy to push these things aside, but they matter. They could save your life. His tone shifted from humorous recounting to earnest appeal. It's not glamorous, but it's necessary. And trust me, the relief afterward is worth every uncomfortable moment. He spoke with the sincerity of someone who recognized he had taken a risk by delaying. His message was more than entertainment, it was a call to action. Humor and vulnerability, a balanced conversation. Throughout the segment, Consuelos balanced humor with vulnerability, a skill not many possess. His jokes about the prep and gown were met with laughter, but the moment he spoke earnestly about health, the audience quieted, understanding the gravity beneath the jokes. His willingness to discuss a topic people often avoid made the conversation refreshing. Viewers tuned in expecting entertainment and unexpectedly received a dose of health awareness wrapped in charm and personality. Kelly Ripa's reaction: equal parts concern and comedy. Though the request was for an article without anchors, it's impossible to avoid mentioning the natural dynamic that unfolded when Consuelos shared his story. Their exchange highlighted the blend of sincerity and humor that defines their on-screen chemistry.